So I think the students start.
Set cool.
And I make a motion that we start this meeting.
I'll second.
All those in favor, right? Yes, two. Two. No, yes, yes. Roll call.
Oh, roll call, yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Congratulations.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah, read that quick statement here for everybody. Okay. I want to read this information that a team posted on Facebook today for those that don't regularly see our social media posts. The big question of the weekend, were residents worried about the tornado on Saturday, May 11th. Brimfield Township relies on the U.S. National Weather Service, NWS, to issue weather alerts. When NWS issues a weather alert, our residents who have signed up for a Nixle alert will get an immediate notification on the devices that they register for Nixle. Nixle is an alert system that notifies subscribers of severe weather, criminal activities, severe traffic, missing persons, or other local events. However, Nixle didn't send any alerts on Saturday, and here's why. It was a typical spring dry weather day Saturday, raining sideways and freezing 1 minute, sunny the next. They called for pop-up showers most of the day. There wasn't a strong organized storm cell for the However, as you all know, a weak EFO tornado briefly occurred in Brimfield Township. It developed so quickly that NWS had to issue advanced watch or warning. Sometimes these things happen. Unfortunately, it was an anomaly. The custody Nick Coyer was alerted of the weather event and notification sent out by Kent State was based on an observation. He contacted our fire chief, who immediately contacted the Portage County Emergency Management Agency, who also had no information to share on a possible tornado. We relied on the experts for these types of things. This was a situation where no one saw this coming. Luckily, it was quick and minimal damage in some states. When down trees were reported, Brimfield Police Department reported on seeing Portage County, EMA came out to evaluate the damage. Sirens or no sirens, what's the benefit? Nothing. Most municipalities use different systems for tornado work. It's up to each individual community to decide how to best protect their citizens from a tornado. Studies show that outside the sirens are not the most effective. They are limited in coverage, and the signal only goes as far as they're designed for people that are outside, not inside. In addition to not being effective, they are very costly. As a result, the township decided years ago to invest in Nixle for emergency alerts. Something that many other municipalities have done as well. As residents, one thing you can do to help protect yourself and stay informed is to enroll in the Nixle alert system and or have emergency alert system radio at home and check on it when weather is great. We will continue to evaluate the process to ensure we are doing everything we can to keep our residents safe. Please visit our Facebook page or our website to enroll in Nixle. What was the first service we got? Do you remember? It wasn't Nixle. We had
Code Red.
Code Red. And that was so. Okay, I just wanted to do all that. Okay. Yeah. Does anybody have any announcements? The board. Nope. Any correspondence? Anything good?
I have a comment.
Okay, sir.
We had our cleanup on Saturdays, and it was a rainy day. And the gentleman who owns the recycle center that took our actual scrap called me today and said we collected 700 pounds of stuff that he could use. I feel that was a success with all the rain that we had and complications. Thank you.
Good, so thank you. Okay, we do not have any scheduled meeting guests. Okay, we have Some minutes to review. Okay, we have, first, we're gonna make a motion that we approve the April 26th special meeting minutes. All right, second.
One second. I haven't reviewed the minutes.
Oh, well, I reviewed the minutes, but the agenda here talks about May the 1st, regular meeting, public hearing on May the 1st. It doesn't say anything about April.
We didn't have the April special meeting on the agenda, it was in books.
Do I have to say please, the next meeting?
No,
That's
I read
okay.
them all. I read all of them, I'll second it.
Okay.
So that was the April
26th
26th.
special meeting?
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
No, or abstain, sorry.
Motion passed.
Okay, and then we had another special meeting, regular meeting, and May 1st zoning hearing. We're gonna make a motion that we approve those minutes.
So moved.
All in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Abstain.
And May 1st, also May 1st, we had our public meeting. So we're gonna make a motion that we approve that.
So moved.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Abstain.
Motion passed.
Now, to the agenda, is there any changes, subtractions, additions?
I know.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second that.
Don?
All those in favor, all those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion that we approve the purchase orders. Review them. Good.
So moved.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Abstain.
Motion passed.
I'm gonna make a motion that we approve the warrants, I reviewed them and signed them.
Yes.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Abstain.
Motion passed.
Okay, now is the time for public comments and questions, and please, let's see, we signed in at the talk. No, that's just for, we're using this for the ones that are going to talk. This is just the people that are attending.
It's just if anybody wants to come up for a public comment.
Is there anyone that wants to come up for public comments, or is your name on the list?
Bob McKenna.
Are you on here?
Yes,
Yeah, first name.
Okay, Bob.
I want to know if they priced out these picnic tables at $1,000 a piece for a 6-foot picnic table.
Kathy is not here.
Well, so remember, this is just public comment, so he
Right.
can express his concerns and then we can follow up with it later. It's not an opportunity for dialogue.
Yeah, I just want to know if it's been farmed out, or if this is just we buy them because they're such a good deal, $1,000.
I can't, I don't want to say something I don't know. You know,
Somebody should look into it.
Okay. Okay. The next one is Joseph Mendez.
No, I'm good, thank you.
Okay. Joe Santana.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Joseph Sanzone, Sugar Maple Hills. I'm a resident since July 1 of 2020. But I've never been able to ever attend any of these meetings because they're weekdays at 8 a.m. So I'm a proponent and here to help encourage you all to consider moving this meeting to the afternoon. It's the first time I've ever been able to attend. I had to rush from Cleveland to get down here. Because although it's probably convenient for all of you for a weekday at 8 a.m., it's not convenient for the community and the people that you represent. So I'd like for you to consider moving the meeting to this time going forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, is there anyone else that wanted to talk that didn't get on the list? Okay, like I said, I had a lady that couldn't be here because it's time to work for her. This is Julie Duckworth Moshellen, 3494 Sunnybrook Town.
Okay.
Weather alert inclusions. This past weekend illustrates that we need an alert system that also includes severe weather in the area. Unsure how that fits in with our current setup and notifications with the mixed system, but clearly something needs adjusted and changed. I also believe after the initial small tornado went through Sunny Creek Road, Portage County put out a tornado warning. I'm assuming no notice was sent out because it's past our township. We are traveling, we're going to be traveling in the next town, we need to be informed. So I think it would be wise to expand the notices to include surrounding areas on all sides of the township. Additional need for the township. Nixle is a great notification system, but everyone does not have a phone on them at all times. I often hear, I didn't have my phone on me, I was not really young, we were out playing with kids, and I didn't hear my phone. Severe weather, tornadoes, Kansas, Nixle,
You got your phone.
it's Nixle. Okay, currently, speaking from folks, just because someone is outside doesn't mean they know what it's coming away. Currently, we're only receiving an automated notice that the National Weather Service sends it out to our direct area. With the current process, if someone is outside the house without their cell phone, we're trying to rely on hearing others, can't count the street sirens, just assume that the reason why. Having another option increases the safety of the residents. I believe the solution is to have a siren system in addition to the Nixle process, so more folks can be included on the notifications. There are benefits on both systems, and I don't think cost should ever be a factor of having just one or the other siren supposedly not be heard outside or inside someone's house. So if you keep the Nixle option, and for those who don't have a phone on them, you install a siren process. John, you want to keep this?
Sure.
Let's go with, here's this list. Okay, I mean, I'm gonna talk on this just for a second, Holly, because I was here back when we added the first system. And at that time, the township had nothing. I mean, we had one, remember the siren on top of the little building that hadn't worked in years? And I think that was just used to
Volunteer fire.
call it volunteer fire out of the fields. So unfortunately, we had that tragedy where those 3 people were killed. And the reason that I pushed to get that system way back when was because we had all, I lived on Sandy Lake Road, and behind me was Brimfield Road where Jimmy was running around shooting people. And the problem we had was all the older folks were looking out their front doors trying to see what was going on. And we absolutely had no way to get a hold of people. So, we're lucky we didn't have more fatalities that day. But after that, we had to find a system that would notify the call. And that is what we said. So that was actually the first real weather system I think the township ever had. So,
It was,
right.
covered it.
And I do remember we were pricing out stuff way back when. And my God, they were.
And Stratus would pay that cost.
Right, so that's how the whole system ever came into the township, and, for the most part, it's been a good system. And, it just takes one thing to happen, and then, any good system is only as good as the people that operate it, so. That's my 5 minutes on that, so. Okay, do we have any safety concerns? Okay, Dave, road department.
Alrighty, some old business, everybody got a chance to sign the chip and seal with the contract. We will put that on the prosecutor's office here soon before we get that process moving forward with Millway. Just a couple of updates real quick. We're doing maintenance at the cemetery right now, weather permitting, but we may not get it completed before Memorial Day. We will have that area looking nice, but we are trying to get that everywhere we can. Right now, again, I guess I should put this in the whole business. ODOT got a hold of me again about the Route 43 and 76 bridge. They did get prices back from Shelley, and they're gonna do Sherman Road over 76 and Sandy Lake over 76. As of right now, they're waiting on a schedule from Shelley when they're gonna do these projects. Just a couple things I didn't have on there. Today was shadow day for the Field Middle Schoolers. I had my grandson with me, so he rode around, got to see some of the new things and stuff around the town. And just to let the board know, I am on vacation from the 17th, and I will be back by the 25th of And that concludes my,
So who will be taking over?
I got a phone.
Uh,
I have a phone. Okay.
I have a question.
We'll have, they'll have a list of what they look at then, so.
Dave, just as an update on these, the chip and seal projects that we have scheduled for this summer, would you want to give us the streets that you're going to be working on?
Yes, they'll be doing Edson Road, which is a motor paved road, so we have to chip it to keep it good. Lynn Road, it will be chipped, yeah, that's a motor paved road. Congress Lake Road, that's one that will be chipped. And we have Sherman Road, that's gonna be chipped.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Dave.
Yep, and we're still waiting for the bid book to come back for the paving.
Okay. When do you think they're gonna start? It is
We still have to do the process, it probably won't start till sometime.
June, July. Okay, thanks, Dave. Police department, anybody have a report for the police?
Yes, so I'll just give a quick update. They have no board action. Calls for service for year-to-date 2024 is 8,017 calls. Updates under old business is the next Portage County EMA Brimfield Asher planning meeting is scheduled for Friday, May 17th at Brimfield Fire Department at 9 a.m. This is going to be a drill that they're running in conjunction with the fire department and Portage County EMA. The Officer Wellness Initiative that was sent out for RFQ by the board has a response date of May 20th, so we're still waiting to hear back on that. And then lastly, the officer candidate currently enrolled in the academy with conditional offer completed their medical and drug screen on May 9th. We're just awaiting results from the final state examination, which was scheduled for later this month, which will bring another officer on board with us upon completion of the state examination. And that's where they're at.
That's good. Okay. Chief Malawi?
Okay, updates, kind of repeating a couple of things the guys just said, but Asher training on May 17th will be at our place with the police department involved. We had 2 students today from Field Middle School participate in the career day. That went very well. They were there for 6 hours today and it was fun. And then we have a prom promise mock accident on May 17th at Field High School. If you hear sirens down in that area, it's a mock. It's not real. So, well, could be, but that won't be in that area. So
This weekend?
I don't know when it is. What's that?
Want me to send in a crash into something?
No, they're going to already have stuff crashed.
I think there's some cars down there already.
Yeah. So we participate with Suffield on that, so it'll be fun on Friday morning. I do need a couple board approval items. I need board approval on 3 sets of fire gear for the new employees. The cost is $10,985, and that will be a Fire Dex fire gear.
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of 3 sets of fire gear for our new employees at a cost of $10,985.
I'll second that for discussion. And I would like to know that the fire bill for the new employees, what account, where would that money come from?
It would come-
General fund or?
No, it would come out of my fire
It'll
account.
come out of your fire department account.
And those sets of gear, unless they get completely ruined, will last us 10 years. So get pretty good life out of those.
These aren't replacements, these are new gear because of the
No.
3 new fire.
No, the only replacement we had was so old, it needs to go in the dumpster. So it's well beyond 10 years, the old stuff.
Whatever the lifespan of this, Greg.
10 years.
So when do we have to start replacing everybody else?
I got them set out and it's like 3 a year, so they're spaced out. So as they come up, I have to do that.
So what happens if the guy doesn't stay here?
He actually pays that back. It's in his, something he signed. Contract, as you will.
Okay, all those in favor, Mike? Yes. Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, thank you. And then second, I need a approval for a resolution of necessity to run our EMS renewal levy on November 5th of 2024. Again, this is a 5-year term levy that we have, and it will be a renewal only. And this is just step one of putting the levy on the ballot.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution of necessity to run the EMS renewal levy on November 5th, 2024 for discussion.
Second.
Great. So are we looking at a cost increase or this is just going to stay the same?
Nope, stays the same. It is a renewal only.
We renew that every 5 years?
We do. The rest are continuous. This is the one we renew.
All those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Nick.
Yes.
And John, you have that paperwork already. I'll just stop and get that from you.
Chris will have it tomorrow.
Awesome. And that is all I have. Thank you.
And
So for old business, athletic field, I should say, is partially complete, although the paving is done. They do need to come back and do, add topsoil to the edges, and there's one curb stop that also needs done. So otherwise it's finished, but there's just some finishing items that they need to do, because of the weather. I did provide a picture there, so that you can see the spots. They did a great job.
Okay.
Yeah, it's for the,
Your next-
athletic fields.
Yeah, I drove through there this weekend. It was looking very nice.
And one, I think it was the last meeting, there was discussion to revisions of the town hall, and you asked that I, come and give some more information on that. So in the court, you have in your packet, a pamphlet that has Moody Nolan, and I noted and read any of the pending changes. So the first one that you'll see, there is a galley kitchen that is put in our board meeting room, but that galley kitchen just consists of a counter. So if we were going to make coffee or have any type of liquids in there, so for example, if we wanted to make coffee, we would have to go to the bathroom to get water because there's no water nearby. So the first addition was to add just a very small bar sink in order to provide water to do coffee there.
Well, you can wash hands there too.
Wash your hands, whatever is needed, but that's one of the changes. Once these, I don't have costs related to these, but these will all come through as a change order with related costs. Item number 2, as you see on the drawing, it was an office right outside of the board meeting room. We're changing that to a conference room. There's no cost related to that. It's more of just, we wanted to have a nearby area that we could use for executive session. And because there wasn't a conference space, we're simply just titling that as a conference room instead of an office. Another item, there was a receptionist window once you come inside the building. But the design of that was that somebody actually has to come inside the building and then you're at a window, which doesn't really make sense, because you're already inside the building, so someone has to allow you to come in. So we changed that, we removed the window, and we're putting in a unit where someone simply just call the department that they're coming to meet. So for example, if someone were coming to meet with me, they'd push a button on the front entrance, it would dial me up and I could allow them to come in there. Another change, we had a storage closet that we've changed to a room for a printer and postage machine. There was nothing in our drawings for any type of area for printer and postage machine. So we added IT lines to that storage room so that we could have a space to put those items. One you already know that came to the last meeting was security door access. As of course is very important in government employment, you want to have secure buildings. And we discovered that once somebody got in, they could essentially access all of our offices without any restrictions, especially if someone came in for a board meeting. So we changed one of the doors to require security access to get into all the offices. A lot of the things that we've changed, we've removed items. In original drawings for the entire building, every room has multiple lines for video cameras to monitor security. We don't need that. Not everybody needs TVs in their office, so we removed quite a few IT lines and electrical hookups in a lot of the offices because it just wasn't needed. We did add one EV power charging station. It will charge 2 vehicles. That's marked as number 7. There was a video phone system that was very expensive. We've eliminated that video phone system and just changed that intercom. So again, another item that will save us money. Number 9, our downstairs area is a very large area and it was intended purely for storage. So as they were doing the construction, there would not be any electrical or IT hookup in the basement. And we're anticipating that as we continue to grow, at some point we might need to throw cubicles or something down in the basement. So we had them added conduit through the wall to the basement for future IT needs in the basement. So easier to do now versus once all the construction is done and it's there if we need to run IT downstairs. So those are the items. Oh, there's one more. On the very back of yours, there was an office in the old area, old town hall that had elevated flooring. It was just one large kind of awkward shaped office, elevated flooring, and the ceiling was kind of, a lot of you guys have seen, it's kind of a, I don't even know how to explain it, a weird ceiling. So we had them demolish that elevated floor, and they'll actually make that into 2 offices. So we now have plenty of space for all of us. There's offices to allow for the fiscal officer to have an office there, as well as the trustees.
Would somebody want to explain why we had the elevated flooring? Well, didn't originally that was a
Because the
requirement?
But before that,
It's for the trucks.
horses to get in.
It's for the trucks to back in.
Yeah, that fire trucks.
And fire trucks in the bottom.
Yep, I mean,
And the fire trucks to go first, and then became our first police officer.
There were horses in there before they had the actual fire trucks.
Well, I do have some humor, you can call it humor originally. What I became aware of is in the historical portion that we tried to save. When I first started there as township trustee, the community would meet on the second floor. Down in the basement was where the truck was and all this stuff going on. But what would happen, if the police department had arrested somebody, they would put handcuffs on them and lock them up to the table while we were having our community meeting upstairs. It was very interesting. I'm sure there'll be progress.
Or we select.
That's in 2012.
Yes. Glad we progressed. No, not at all.
Any questions on any of those?
No, thank you for providing that.
Yes. All right, board approvals needed on that notice of forfeiture of land for the 1988 Old Forge. This has been to a couple meetings now. 2 options: 1, we can petition for the land, or 2, we can default to the state. If we default to the state, the land bank will work with the state to acquire the land and donate it to the township. It's my recommendation, based on thorough discussions, that we allow it to default to the state, allow the land bank to acquire it, and then give it to us if we so want it, or don't do anything with it. But I think it would be, we've had conversations with the land bank. They're agreeable to doing that if we so want it, and so therefore that would be my recommendation.
Okay, so we need a motion.
So I can make a motion to allow the property at the forfeiture of land for 1988 Old Forge to default to the state of Ohio.
We'll second that.
And pursue acquisition through the land bank.
Yes, is that,
Yes,
okay.
and pursue acquisition.
Not the state.
Would that be a separate motion now?
Then we would work to get it from the land bank.
Would we want to make that as a separate motion once they have it, or just do it now? Okay, so I'll amend that motion to add, to pursue acquisition of the land through the land bank after the state takes possession.
So we're gonna forfeit it to the state, we're gonna do that.
Yeah, so then we acquire it through the land bank.
Yeah, there's some additional, not that we think there's like environmental issues or anything, but there's some additional protections the township gets by having capacity of the land bank. And they've been very good about willing to work with this.
And how did Cassie ever find out if the Ohio Trail did go through the back of that? remember if she, I thought she was gonna look into it.
I can't remember. I will follow up. I thought it was, so there are, I think, 3 pictures in your packet there of the land. One of the things I asked Parks to do is go take a look at it. Is there something we would be interested in tying that in and just, creating a park? She did not feel that it would be a piece of land that we would want to do that with. I cannot remember exactly what she said about the access, but we'll verify and call for the next meeting.
But there's nothing that they have right away.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So we have a second that motion. Okay. Roll call.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yeah.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Next item for board approval is the extension of the contract for QCI. So QCI is our owner's representative. They provide owner's representative services for the construction project. Monthly, I do send you guys a report of everything that they do for their billable hours. They have been pretty critical in where we've come with the progress, although, we still have issues and delays and items coming up. I don't know how we would get through this without QCI and the next steps that we end up going with the delays that there have been. So at this point, the extension of the contract for QCI is a total estimated cost for services up to June 22nd, which was our initial move-in date for the town hall, would be $39,624. As you guys know, Rycon has given us a notice of delay, and they are, at this point, as of today, they're in September, but we have not accepted the notice of claim delay, and we are potentially will be going to a mediation on that. But if we want to extend it through at least August, the total cost from now to August would be $93,804. So I bring that before you, and knowing that we're at least going to be to the August 9th point. If you want to go ahead and approve the $93,804, if you'd rather do June, then that would take us through the $39,624.
Holly, just to clarify that, as of June 22nd, that's the only thing we've proposed and accepted, correct?
Correct.
So anything after June 22nd, at this point, they owe us $1,000 a day?
At this point, they would. So what QCI does, they are on site every day. They are monitoring progress. They are looking at everything to make sure that both Moody Nolan and QCI are doing what they should in accordance with our contract. And if they are not, they lay the case for us to be able to take action on that. So any of these items that they're saying are causing delay, QCI is basically here on our side to lay that groundwork to defend on why we wouldn't accept any extensions. In addition to being really like a site inspector. So they're evaluating things as the work is being done. And since they're here every day, they're monitoring it very closely. And if something is not being done exactly right or exactly according to the specs, they are bringing that forward and making sure it is. That would not be something we could do. We don't have that construction expertise. And they have found quite a number of things that they had to raise up to be fixed. Otherwise, we would have never known about it.
Go ahead.
I'd like to make that motion.
I'll second it for discussion.
What is the motion? Are we doing for until June 22nd or to August 9th?
You're gonna make that for August 9th or June 22nd.
I would go to August.
We're just gonna have to do it again anyways, because we're gonna still be doing August. We're not getting out of there unless we have a reason to get rid of them after June 22nd, which I'm not suggesting.
So it would be for $93,804.
And I just want to point out that,
I'll second it for discussion.
okay, for discussion, I just want to point out, for a year and a half, I have been attending the contractor meetings. So I know what's going on, and I know what Holly has shared with all of us. That's exactly the way it is. And actually, I don't see how we can't go ahead with the project without QCI being there with us.
And they've been instrumental in saving us money.
Yes, a lot.
So they pay for their fee from the savings that we would have been.
Yeah, they help us evaluate options and changes, so as things come up for change orders, and it happens every day, the drawings are either lacking or we look at it and decide it's not going to work. PSI has been pivotal in helping us figure out affordable options. But yeah, they've been pivotal in where we are and where we're gonna end up. And they'll come to you guys soon. We'll end up having an executive session, probably in the next couple of meetings, where they'll come in and give you guys an update as they have previously.
So I just have a little concern with the August 9th date. Is that going to be assigned to the contractor that we're accepting, that we acknowledge that the date needs to go to August 9th by making a motion as a board here? Is that going to have any repercussions for us?
No, you're really just appropriating funds and placing them on hold if they're needed through that date. That's all.
Do we have an estimated savings that we've gotten with QCI through their work? They've given us a rough number of how
Well,
much.
it's 710 to start out with, they got me down to that 160, that was all QCI. And that 160 probably will go away one of these days as well.
710.
About 710,000 and over.
Yeah, I would say to get an accurate number, it'll depend on the end of this, because they will engage, they're going to be engaged in mediation to recoup funds and fight these claim orders. So in the end, we'll have a real picture of exactly what they'll negotiate in costs. I would have to see if we could quantify that today.
Yeah, just, a rough estimate of what we're quantifying from the work they've done so far. I think also with that, what's our project total cost and remaining balances on this project? And we had talked about that when we approved QCI with the last extension, that we're doing a project cost update of what's been paid out both to Rycon, Moody, and what's remaining in those funds, those levy funds. Do we know what that is at this point?
I would, if I don't know that ahead of time, I don't know.
That's how the motion is, so.
But it deals with because it deals with the money for the project. And we were supposed to get that at the last QCI update from fiscal, and we still haven't received it.
Which update are you looking at?
So that was when we approved QCI last time, you were gonna give us a fund balance and say, this is how much we spent on the fire side, this is what we had spent on the admin side, this is the total amount of levy.
Back in the
This
text,
is the
over
remaining.
meeting, and I told you that's what it was. But, in regards to that, if you're thinking that we're gonna be at 8.4, I can guarantee we're not gonna be at 8.4. We're gonna be over that number, it's just how far are we gonna be over? We're a year and a half late. So, I mean, your guess is as good as mine. I mean, we can't even tell when the end date's gonna be.
I would just like to see where we stand now, so that we're planning for that. as well.
Yeah, all we have to do is print a report off that the USDA sent over for expenditures that we paid out. I can't guarantee you what any of those other additional costs are gonna be, I have no idea. So,
Anything, you want to say anything on QCI?
no, I think we should go until then. We'd be fighting with $710,000 right now if it wasn't, which are out of our control whatsoever. So I think that that's the best, we have to do that, there's no way to get around it. So, okay, all those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Nick,
No.
motion passed.
And that's all I have for administration. Mike, I can cover Mike's, since he's not here, if you guys are ready to go on to economic development zoning.
Okay.
No old business items. For new business, Mike is working with the county engineer in Parta to connect the International Drive to Mogador. So Parta has applied for a grant through AMAX with the county engineer with the goal of, again, just working to connect that International Drive to Mogador. The goal will be, at least through this grant, an estimated about 80% of the cost would be covered through the grant. And then Mike is also working on options to cover the remaining 20%. So he'll come with more information as that progresses. Regional planning completed the Brimfield Township 2050 comprehensive land use plan with the zoning commission. Zoning commission approval is needed to accept the updated plan at the next meeting. The zoning commission members are just now going to be receiving that comprehensive land use plan, and then again, it'll go for their approval. The swearing in of the zoning commission members was completed on May 9th, and Board of Zoning Appeals swearing in, which will be completed on May 15th of 2024. And that is all items for zoning. Right, I will also cover parks. Yep. So, currently Cassie's not here because she's actually at a ceremony for our parks intern. So Irene Scherer was our intern for the Parks and Rec Department. So Irene worked on a number of items, including working on the project to establish community gardens. She established a layout and plan. She led a hike for us, created a nature field guide, and just assisted in day-to-day parks planning, just to give her some experience. That presentation that Cassie's at with her today, it's part of Irene's curriculum to give a presentation. She's currently at Biomed, and she's going to be going to Hiram for environmental science for college. So just a good experience working with Irene and giving her exposure in different areas of Parks and Rec.
Should we send a letter from the board just thanking her for her time and dedication?
I think that would be nice, yeah.
This is part of that graduation piece.
Sure.
Can you draft that from the board of trustees?
Absolutely. It was an unpaid internship, so she gets educated, it's for her educational requirements. But yeah, I think that would be nice. New business, Parks and Rec will be partnering with Field Schools on their fall event for Trunk or Treat. We're gonna be canceling our Trunk or Treat event for 2024 because we feel that we'll have greater community involvement through the one combined event. So essentially, especially since it's the school, they have a bigger draw for children. There's so many Trunk or Treats now that it becomes very difficult to find a time to have it when someone else isn't having it. And really just the idea of looking with how we can partner with Field Schools and create a larger, more successful event, so we're not competing with their events. So Cassie and I discussed, I thought it was a great idea, create that partnership and draw everybody to one combined event. Board approval needed on the purchase of picnic tables for Honeychuck Pavilion, Lions Park from Uline at a cost of $13,101.06. These are 10 6-foot recycled plastic A-frame tables that include shipping. You guys do have an overview in your packet of those tables. So they are 100% recycled UV protectant plastic. They will not rot, splinter, or crack. They withstand harsh weather. Durable classic style picnic tables. So these are not like your standard picnic tables. These are virtually maintenance free and recommended for areas like campgrounds, schools, and parks. We did get quotes for similar tables. Again, we want to make sure the quality is there so people aren't sitting on the tables and getting splinters, and we really don't want to have to maintain them regularly. So there were.
So she did get multiple quotes?
Yes, so we got quotes from 3 other Parks and Rec companies, Belson Outdoor, Poly Products, and Global Industrial, and that is when we decided to go with Uline, so Uline was the 4th. So quotes were received by 4 companies total, and for that exact comparable table, Uline was the cheapest of the 4.
And those wooden picnic tables don't seem to last very long.
Well, that's what started this discussion, remember last year, because they were falling apart. The pavilion out here in Lions Park, they were all falling apart when people were sitting on them. We wanted something that would last longer.
Yeah, so these are the same picnic tables that we purchased for the Carter Pavilion in 2021, and we've had a very good experience with them. So that's another reason why we want to go with Uline. The ones that we've already purchased have been successful and maintained.
We have to information.
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of picnic tables for Honeychuck Pavilion, Lions Park from Uline at a cost of $13,101.06 for 10 6-foot recycled plastic A-frame tables.
And I'll second that for discussion. Dave, those things are hard to drag out of there, someone wants to steal them, right?
The weight of them is, yeah, you just can't pick them up like a wooden one, take off. It takes at least 2 people to move them around.
Just don't have hands like that, right?
Right. Oh,
And rather, I don't want to throw good money at bad products, so having those picture tables were didn't last very long. Okay,
All those in favor, Mike?
yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Hank?
Yes.
Motion passed.
I'm back to do the due diligence.
Yeah. Absolutely. That is all I have.
Okay, go.
Okay, well, third person I got is the AT&T fiber internet was successfully installed and is live now in the fire department, and that will serve the town hall also once the town hall construction is complete. So that was the final piece of our fiber install with AT&T. We had the police department go live last year. Now the fire department is live on fiber, so we'll now have the a proper internet connection, more reliable than the cable internet that we were using in the past. So that is complete.
Working good.
Yeah, everything seems to be going as planned. We're with it. So we're good there. The next thing that I have to share, and I think it's in either in your packet or it's on the folder.
Yes, I apologize. I forgot to print it out for you, but I'll send it to you. It is in the folder for access. I
Okay.
apologize for that.
So back in February, a acquaintance of mine who happens to have a hobby of studying statues asked permission, or it's on a park, so I don't know, there wasn't really permission, but I kind of gave him as much of a backstory as I know about it. But he was very intrigued by our pioneer statue on the town square green. So he came out, in February and did a very thorough examination. I thought it was great, and produced a report. So some of the highlights of that report are that the statue is made of limestone that was quarried in Indiana. So he was able to look at the mineral composition of the statue and stated that this was a statue that was probably from southern Indiana based on the limestone composition, which, again, I have no idea how people can do that, but that's great. He can see that there's signs that originally the base was of polished or honed stone and that the coating has worn away with weather. But it was originally a polished limestone statue, but of course all that nice shininess wore off. There, as we know, or at least I know, there is definitely signs that there were two attempts to reattach its hand. One attempt was with a pin, and then there's definitely the signs of some form of adhesive was applied to it, but both attempts, as we know, were failed. And based on the type of limestone that it is made of, he can say definitively that any attempt to reattach the hand will not be successful, as the prior people that attempted to fix it found out. But it is because of the type of limestone, adhesives won't work. So there is no way of reattaching the hand or arm or whatever there is. So it is what it is. There is signs that the statue was made in two pieces and that there are mortar attached to the two pieces, which is starting to deteriorate. And of course, as we've already figured out, weather, rain, and plant growth is of course causing the statue to crack and deteriorate. It's out in the weather, but it is of course made of limestone. So as the rain is kind of acidic, it's eating it away. But most likely the statue will probably be there for another 100 years until it's eventually isn't. If we wanted to protect the statue, they recommend taking it out of the rain, which of course we're not going to do because why would we? We're not going to move the statue. But it was a neat little report. The guy this is what he does as a hobby. Some people have really weird hobbies. I have some weird hobbies. This guy's hobby is go around and examining statues. So there's a very comprehensive report that Holly will share of the statue and its composition, showing cracks and plant growth and all kinds of fun things. But it was kind of a neat little thing that someone asked if they could do, and of course, why not? It's in a park. So. It's back in the 1800s. It lists the original founding families of Brimfield. So it's called the Pioneer Statue, as it said. Which, again, I've lived in Brimfield my whole life and never actually took the time to read the statue.
I just want to say that in my research, we became an area in 1816, and the statue was put up in it was the 100-year anniversary when the statue went up. So it's been there quite a while,
Yes.
After the Titanic.
yeah.
And it'll be there for a little bit longer, but it's, it's like anything else. It's made of stone, and unfortunately, weather is slowly eating away at it.
Well, you get one of those skywalker things.
That if you go back to our April Fool's joke, that's what we did for April Fool's. We photoshopped hands onto the statue because we thought that'd be fun.
Yeah.
We were thinking about maybe adding a giant Go Field foam finger to it because I think that'd be kind of fun.
Maybe one of the first to put it inside to preserve it.
Right. I mean, if we wanted to preserve it, it would need to be moved out of the weather. Whether that's something that we feel is necessary, I wouldn't even.
Our new meeting, we watch the golf course.
Yes. So that's all I have.
Thank you. Okay. Summer's great.
Yeah, just wanted to let you guys know that the land acquisition is complete. In the process of paving the athletic fields, they did move approximately, we'd say about 40-ish loads of dirt moved to that cemetery, the back area to fill in. Per day, it barely made a dent in the amount of dirt that we need to put there, but they were able to reallocate those loads. So just again, want to let you know that land acquisition is done.
Nice. It's getting overgrown. We'll just keep people from sneaking back.
So this is a little ledge.
We need to go for a walk about it. You probably find a lot of golf balls.
I'll stand on the ledge and watch it.
Not golf balls. What hole is that?
3. Okay, on the side of it.
Yeah. Not there.
It was long, it was from the top of the hill, and down by the restaurant.
Okay, well, that's good. Just 5 more acres for the next generations. Okay, this one.
We have the nonce arrangements you guys have down there, which come from Portage County, which are an estimate of our estimated taxes for 25. So I just need a resolution to pass that, and then you guys need to sign it.
I'm gonna make that motion. Second for discussion.
I'll second that. John, we just need to sign on the top page, correct? The pink ones or the purple ones are just for you?
This is the Portage County's put together
That's their estimate of what our taxes are.
for
6.2 million for 2025.
6.2 million. Is that up?
It's about the same.
Let's see.
Because you remember, our budgets are based off our carryover balances, our revenue, other revenues, and then taxes from Portage County. So it's a combination. We're a little over 12 right now, is what our budget is. A lot of that might carry over from years prior, or it's just after the bank statement clears in December, and that's where we do all get the exact final total budget, and all of the carry over. But that's just Portage County's estimate of what they think the taxes are gonna be. That's it.
Okay.
So I'd say, so you're gonna make that, make you second that? Correct. Say, Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yeah.
Nick,
Yes.
motion passed.
Okay, now we're at the executive session. So, I'm going to pick executive session.
Yeah, you are,
On this day, 5/13/24, trustee Mike Kaczynski moved to convene the executive session pursuant to Ohio Revised Code, section 121-2G, for the purpose of considering the following matters. For the trademark on that basis, for the investigation of charges or complaints against a public official, official licensee, or regulated individual, unless a public employee, official licensee, or regulated individual requests a public hearing. Except otherwise provided in law, the public body shall hold executive session for the discipline of elected official, the conduct related to the performance of the elected official's official duty, or for the elected official's removal from office. the public body will act in session pursuant to Division G1 of this section. The motion and vote to hold the executive session shall state which one or more the group proposed listed in Division of G1. This section of the purpose for which executive session is to be held, but not included in the name of the person to be considered
It could be the other one time too. That's fine. But you just gotta take a vote. You need a second for that.
I need a second for that.
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor? Mike?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed. We're in executive session at 6:55 PM.
So we'll have one.
Yes.
Okay. And we have There's no action.
So we return from regular session at 7:36.
There's no action.
No action to be taken?
So I'm gonna make a motion that we end this wonderful meeting.
Second.
And motion passed, move to adjourn.
You get a roll call.
Roll call, Mike,
Yes.
Sue? Yes. Nick,
Yes.
move to adjourn 7:36.
Thank you. You have the frozen margarita?